My name is Josep Casellas, and I'm responsible for the alliances with global systems integrators worldwide from a software world perspective. I'm glad to be here one more year. So that's my third CSI meeting. And I have the privilege to be after this session, so you are with open mind. I cannot ask for anything better to start this session. Someone said that the best way, someone said that the best way to predict the future is to define it. So this is what we have been doing for the past 100 years in IBM for the IT sector. So last year, our 100th anniversary has been a great opportunity to review some of the achievements, some of the innovations that we brought that really shaped the future of that moment. The punch cards, the barcodes, the credit cards, even the software to put the man in the moon, and most important, to bring them back safe home. Today, what I wanted to share with you is how we do these things. How we apply these methodologies in order to really define those innovations, how we identify those trends, and from those trends, define markets and lead those new markets. So in order to do that, I want to bring you a little bit back on time, not 100 years, just a few years ago, in order to explain what we are doing now and the kind of transformation that we are having in software group. Okay, so just let's go back a few years, specifically in October 2008. I think all of you remember these troubled times. We were absolutely overwhelmed with this amount of bad news coming from the collapse of the financial markets. No? And it was in that precise moment where we decided to launch one of the most challenging initiatives ever. It was the Smarter Planet initiative. Why that time? Why that moment? The reason for that is because we feel the need of sharing with the world what we were identifying, the trends that we were seeing, share the insights that we had in order to explain the opportunity, the big change that was happening, and the opportunity that was ahead of us. It was, in fact, a message of hope, and we thought that that was the right message to bring in the moment when everything was falling apart, creating a whole set of new opportunities for us. Back to the present, in this year, February of this 2012, Ginny Rometty, during the conference in the Partner World that we host in New Orleans, she's just said that Smarter Planet, in fact, allowed us to instrument the enterprises in new ways, no? To integrate data across those enterprises and definitely leverage the analytics in order to bring this new intelligence, this new effectiveness into the organizations. And the thing is that was happening not only at the enterprise level, it was happening at the industry level, it was happening in every building, in every city across the planet. So the question is, what are then the new areas where we need to be focused in order to understand right now what is going to be impacting our organizations, our industries? And she defined three main focus areas. One is big data. The second one is cognitive insight-driven computing. And the third one is the need to shift this capacity of computing from the back office to the front office. So let me explain a little bit what we have done with this, how we are transforming ourselves, and how we are bringing new solutions, new technologies in order to respond to those challenges. Let's talk about this first concept, the big data. So we are, as I said, in an age where there is a massive amount of data around us. You just take any number, any signal of that. You know, here I put just one, 340 million tweets happening, sent every single day. This is twice the amount of what was happening just 2 years ago. If we look into maybe the utility companies today, well, just remember in comparison what was happening just a few years ago. Maybe once a year they were coming to our houses and read our meters. In the best case, a couple of times. Today they are able to take 300 billion metering registrations per year. So volume is one of the factors that is happening, no? But not the only one. This volume is increasing exponentially. There is the generation of this data is going in amazing speed. You know, 5 million, just on the financials markets, 5 million trend events are registered per second. And this data comes from multiple different formats. I was watching the other day a program on which, you know, in one of these casinos in Las Vegas, in particular in the Bellagio, they were saying that they have more than 2,000 cameras just on the casino floor registering high-definition video, 360 degrees every second, 24 hours a day. What does it represent? No? Every second of a high-definition video has 2,000 times more information than a full page of written text. But on top of volume, velocity, and variety, then comes another aspect of this, which is what we call veracity, credibility of this data. Is that data right or is wrong? When we have billions of devices sending information, is because the reason why we have so many is that we have very cheap chips. And cheap chips bring sometimes right data or wrong data when that happens. Or even, you know, do we know if this data is hacked or not hacked? Do we know if this data is complete or incomplete? Because, you know, if we had information coming saying, you know, I have a suitcase in Paris, what does it mean? Is it in Charles de Gaulle? Is it in Orly? Is it in Paris, France? Paris, Texas? Paris, Tennessee? So we don't know exactly, you know, what information we have with this data. We need to be sure that we are realizing that we have humongous amount of data, high speed generating data, different formats, and with uncertainty on those data. Between 20 and 30% of this uncertainty. This is what we talk about big data. At the same time, you know, we have to do something with this data. What kind of insights we can get. So the analytics platform that we need to create is the platform that needs to deal not only with this characteristic of the data, but at the same time looking into the user. There are a huge amount of stakeholders that will need this data with different specific needs, and by the way, with very low skills about understanding those analytics. So the new infrastructures that we have to put in place for these analytics are infrastructures that need to be flexible, need to be easy user interface, needs to adapt to the needs of every single user. So this is an example of what we understand by this infrastructure that has to be cognitive and has to be insight-driven computing. On top of that, that dynamic creates a significant challenge. A significant challenge, definitely for the CIOs, but here again, we have identified a new trend. A new trend, yesterday Esther was mentioning that there are more and more the decisions of the ITs used in the business are more driven by outside of the IT departments. The chief financial officers, the chief marketing officer, the chief HR officer. So all these line of business officers are really driving those decisions. But interesting enough, they don't care about neither the products or the services that they need to use. They care just about the business outcomes that they need to achieve. They are worried about how to make much more effective their marketing campaigns. They are worried about how to accelerate the process of bringing new products into the market. They are carried about the process about how to manage the risk in their organizations, how to identify fraud. Those are the business outcomes that they need to achieve. So they need to make those decisions in order to achieve those outcomes, and they are totally overwhelmed by the amount of data that they receive and with no skills to understand what this data mean and the insights that this data drive. So we need to help them to have this power that have been investing on the back office and help them into the front office. So let me give you an example of that. When you have a financial institution, it's not enough to have a good core banking application. They need now to face the challenge that when a new potential customer clicks their website, they have in average 45 seconds to capture the attention of this user, to really drive towards what he or she is looking into this website and being able to bring it in 2, maximum 3 more clicks. At that point, they have to deliver the information that this user is looking for, or the position of their brand that they wanted to reach, or if possible, to sell some product or services. And they have no more than 45 seconds between each of those clicks. So in order to reach this objective, definitely all this computing capacity needs to move definitely to the front office. And these 3 factors, this big data, this insight-driven computing and moving this to the front office is really unlocking a vast number of transformational opportunities, because this is happening everywhere in the organization. Finance, human resources, marketing, everywhere. So all our products, all our services need to, all our products, all our services need to help them to make this kind of decisions based on those insights. And if we make this correctly, in reality, we are helping them to unleash this potential capacity of innovation in order to define a new set of products, to define a new set of core processes. And that is the only way that all of our customers, ourselves, we have to, in order to compete in these global markets. So what will we do with this? When we find these complex markets, when we find these opportunities that really unlock these transformational processes, these transformational opportunities, and that means that we have an opportunity to really identify a new market, and these are the kind of markets that we like, because usually there are very little competition here. So then is when we applied what we call the cross-IBM making markets process. What this process is all about. First, we identified those trends, and we first built very limited offerings that we deployed in some countries in order to test the capacity of this offering to really respond to that market needs. It's what we call this market incubator phase. We tested, we create some experience, we fine-tuning with the customers. Some other examples of these offerings is, for example, just pick one, get Watson. You remember Watson with the Jeopardy? So we put Watson into work. Now Watson is working in the healthcare, and we are defining an offering to see how we can help the doctors, the practitioners, to develop more skills to help them on this prognosis in different areas. Specifically, it's working around cancer. When those offerings are really taking momentum, are really fine-tuning, and we see that they are really getting into what the market is expecting. Then we align with our cross-portfolio of products. We align with our go-to-market strategies in the different countries, and we make it grow. This is the second phase of our process, is making the market itself. And here we can have some examples, as I mentioned here, like the governance and risk and compliance offerings or the social business offerings. And finally, when those offerings really mature, definitely we scale them. We scale the portfolio around those offerings. We expand it to all countries. We expand it to all industries. We expand it to all channels. No? And here we have, as a good examples, what we are doing with the smarter commerce or with our business analytics and optimization offerings. This is the process that we use in order to make markets. That is the process that has been underpinning on a creation of our solution, software solution group. We have put here in this group, in the past, that is the transformation that we did 2 years ago. We put our newest offerings. Smarter commerce, it's an offering that gives a solution to our customers about how they buy the goods, how they market their services and products, how they sell it, how they have to service. Smarter analytics is our offering around how to get these insights, this knowledge from all this data that I was mentioning before. Social business is our offering around how we tackle the unstructured information and capture the sentiment factor of the individual. Smarter cities is how to make those processes more intelligent with the cities, this system of systems, and Watson, as I was mentioning before. We have transformed our software group portfolio dramatically in these past 3 years. We have gone industry by industry, identifying the main challenges that each industry has. We have been reviewing every single function and role, identifying what are the business outcomes that these roles and functions need to achieve. And then we identified in the intersection between the business needs and the IT, what IT can bring and support in order to solve these business needs, we identified a set of capabilities. We know that each customer is different. We know that each customer has their own strategies. But again, we identified this pattern that with every of these needs, every of these objectives that each customer, each function in each industry has, this set of capabilities or combination of capabilities give a good response to them. So as I said, we identified 7 of them, needs in order to help to turn information into insights. They need to deeper help those customers to engage with their own customers, employees, and partners. The need to enable agile processes, agile applications in their own organizations, to enable the mobile force to access these processes and applications, accelerate the products, the time to market in the innovation of this sales cycle of the products, optimize the IT business and infrastructure, as well as manage the risk on their own organizations. These 7 capabilities are the ones that we define within software group. This is a long process, it's a complex process, and it's a process that we cannot do alone. That's why we are counting on you. We need you to scale this process. We need you to reach the customers with those capabilities. We need you with your experience about your industry and your experience about deploying complex projects. Because we, together, we can be more successful. We, together, we can bring, the values, we can bring, what the customers need to achieve, unlock this capability of innovation that they need in order to succeed in the market. So let's together build this smarter planet. Thank you.